time after time, we are watching murderers go free. They hide behind their badges, they hide behind their white privilege, and they use the excuse that they fear for their lives to murder our young people in cold blood.
It's done.
X, my brother.
No. Don't think about it.
All you self-righteous assholes do is march and destroy your own communities. Killing me won't change a goddamn thing.
It's a lot different when it's a grown black man standing his ground.
Checks and balances, man. I appreciate the early support, man. You see the link at the bottom of the screen, man. Go ahead and support the project. And I just saw on Ellie's Instagram that Mike Tyson is picking Crawford over Spence. I mean, I really don't care. It means nothing to me, but I'm just drawing y'all in here to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I'm not saying that this is criminal or anything like that, but I remember when I started podcasting, it really was an information highway, meaning that, I mean, it was just people giving their perspective on things, and they had great analysis. And now in 2022, podcasting, you can't do a podcast without being drunk or high. And honestly, I haven't seen Mike Tyson not sedated shit in years when I see him being recorded. And the reason why that's important is now it then turned into fentanyl, and then turned into mushrooms, and then turned into pills, and it's cool. And now we have podcasts called Drink Champs and All the Smoke, and on YouTube there's no age requirement. Pretty much. I mean, they got that shit, but it don't really matter, you know. And it's going to have long-term ramifications. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, they're doing nothing wrong by this. But the cooler we make things, the more accessible mentally it will be to these young men and women, and then it's just gateway stuff, you know. And kids getting high at 14, drinking at 14, 15, and like I said, I never succumbed to underage drinking. I went to college at 17 and never drank or smoked. You understand what I'm saying? So so I understand what accountability looks like, feels like, and lives like, you know. And I think we need to be cognitive of the image that we're giving. And I know we have adult podcasting, but I think I think the conglomerate is using Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson is soulless. And I'll tell you guys something. That's why I've never interviewed Mike Tyson. Because I can't ask him the questions I want to ask him. And you say, Fred, you've never been around. Shit. He's around Sam Watson more than you know. And I've always walked away. Ellie stays. Like early on, Ellie stays and asks the questions during fight week, and I always walk away. I'm like, all right, Sam, I'm gone, man. I'll holler at you later. Because I don't want, I'm compelled to ask Mike Tyson things because I know things. You know, I just want you guys to know, I used to write for Don King's newspaper, and I know a lot of things about Mike Tyson that is just life that he would not be. I'm just telling the truth. He did it. So don't come at me. He fucking did it. He's done some egregious shit that I can't respect as a 44-year-old man, and I can't I can't shake hands and kiss babies around them, so I would walk away, and that's it. And I think there was one instance where I had to walk by him, and my camera was hot already, and I think that's the only time he's ever been on my platform. I was like, "Hey, Mike Tyson, how you doing?" And that was it, because my camera was already hot, and that's it. He was in our walking path. I remember I was with Dante, Boxing Nation, but I've never desired to interview him. Never. I mean, I take that back. I would interview him if we can have a conversation about truth and not the perception of Mike Tyson that everyone is in love with, you know. But if you have private conversations with people who knew Don King and Mike Tyson, and you wouldn't respect him, you wouldn't hold him in as high regards as you would, you know. And anyhow, I just think we need to be more cognitive of what we're portraying. Like 8 o'clock in the morning, we drinking and getting high. 9 o'clock in the morning on your podcast. 12 o'clock at noon. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not. Listen, I'm. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. Nothing, absolutely wrong. It's absolutely legal. You're an adult. You can do whatever you want. I just think as minorities in America, and I'm including minorities, all minorities, that we have to give ourselves the competitive advantage. And how we give each other's a competitive advantage is living healthy lifestyles and living longer. That's how we compete. Imagine a successful person like yourself living 70 years, living to see 90. If life expectancy was 90, we can take it a whole lot further. For example, like Kobe said, he said, I practice 3 times a day, and I've done it for 10 years. And then you wake up and say, I want to be like Kobe. I have a 10-year advantage on you because I worked out for 3 times a day for 10 years. You can never catch up. And that will be our competitive advantage: healthier, longer lives. And that's just the truth. It's just pragmatic. It's just science. Has nothing to do with your emotions. I should have made this a mansion talk, you know. But that's just the reality of it. I want to live longer. I want to see my great grandkids. You know, somebody might have to have some young kids at a young age, but because I started dumb late. You know, 37. I'm 44. 37. Lincoln came, so that's gonna be a little tough for me. But it's not be tough for you. And I think it's important. I think it's important to have all your kids with one woman's. Science. Science proves, statistics prove that whether you get a divorce or whether you stay married, the likelihood of your children being more successful when you having multiple kids with one parent versus 2 parents is just the security of the siblings protecting and supporting one another. You know, you don't have that organic envious of stepmothers and stepbrothers and sisters, and that's just the reality of it, man. I don't want nobody saying, "Well, we did it." Yeah, that's that. Yeah, you're an outlier. I'm leaning on statistics and science. All right. So, anyways, man, Mike Tyson picked Spence. He didn't give a reason why, but the reality is, 7 years ago, podcasting wasn't big on drinking and smoking and drugs, like hard drugs. Like now, it's cool and it's not a crime. I just think we need to be more cognitive of the images that we give out because it's important. Imagery is important, right? You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Ryan Garcia shows up to a Tank Davis fight in a tuxedo. That was his sponsors. How did he get the seat next to Earl Spence and 3 cameras on him? It was a play. we show up with some tight jeans that are too small, too short, and 15 chains on. I'm just giving y'all a game, man. Anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.